Join us all month long for special programming that honors the past while inspiring our future. Black History Month on KBLA Talk 1580. Our history, our voices, our time.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
And you spoke last night about how losing the connection to ourselves in childhood is responsible for many of our problems as adults.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give us a bit of an idea of how that happens?
Well, when I talk about connection to oneself, I'm talking about something very simple, which is an organism's capacity to know what it feels and to be able to respond with the emotions that are appropriate to the present moment. Now, without that capacity, you can't survive. If an animal does not have a connection to itself, so it doesn't know what it feels, when it feels it, it can't respond to a threat. It's going to be dead. Same with human beings throughout our evolution. So when I talk about being connected to ourselves, I'm talking about actually knowing what we feel and experience in a given moment and being able to interpret that appropriately. Without that capacity, we're lost. Now, we're born with that capacity. You never met an infant who's not connected to their gut feelings. By the time you talk to adults, you find many people who even have their gut feelings, they ignore them. So that something happens between infancy and adulthood that disconnects us. Now, what is that? What that is the need for acceptance by our environment. If our environment does not or cannot support our gut feelings and our healthy emotions, then the child, in order to belong and fit in, will automatically, unwittingly and unconsciously repress or suppress their emotions and their connection to themselves for the sake of...
That's Gabor, right? He is cooking. See, we were born to a family. Do you know what a family's primary job is to do? It's to love, sure. It's to accept, sure. But it's also to teach you, right, that you can stand on your own, that you are enough. Yes, you're born to a family. And yes, we want connectivity because we're born into a family. But part of a family's, a good family, a healthy family, part of their responsibility is to teach spiritual self-efficacy, spiritual self-worth, spiritual self-esteem. Do you understand? A part of your mother and father's job, and I know nobody ever said this, right? Maybe this is the recontextualization of parenting. You have to teach your child, listen, intrapersonal skills. Does that make sense? Intrapersonal skills. Who you are. Right? Yes, you're born to us and you're modeled by us, but that's not who you are. Molded by us, but that's not who you are. You're who you say you are. Right? Imagine if you're dealing with parents that are transparent about their flaws. Son, I cheated on your mother. Son, I lack emotional regulation skills. I'm a hothead. I got anger issues. Imagine. right? Transparency. Take the mask off, right? Imagine, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about, do you understand? I'm saying, what if a parent did that as part of, this is how you grow up. This is how you understand how to differentiate. You know, yes, you love me because I'm your father or I'm your mother. Yes, but I'm flawed and I'm still working on me. Right? My mom did A, B, C, and D to me, and that's a part of my spirit, and that's a part of your molding, and I've been trying to undo this work while raising you, but I also have to make you aware of the hidden hand that might be raising you. Right? Does it? Do you see? Imagine that kind of parenting. That's how I raised my children. I told them who I was. I kept them tapped in to my progress, where I was failing and where I was excelling. You see? Because again, most of us are silent. Most of us put our parents on a pedestal, even if they're not good people, right? We find something redemptive about them and we love them, or we hate them and try to be the reverse, the inverse of them. But there's still a wound there. There's still something there that makes us feel a bit off, right? If authenticity is the ultimate currency of human connection, does saving face make us spiritually bankrupt? Is it possible that we cling to the mask not to deceive others, but because we fear we are nothing without our mask? My goodness. What if the pain of removing the mask is only unbearable because we've worn it for so long that we've mistaken it for our skin? 1-800-920-1580. I know you don't want to hear this. If we are rewarded more for being palatable than for being authentic, what incentives exist, which is transactionalism, what incentives exist for true self-revelation? Does the fear of losing social capital explain why even those who claim to reject performative living still engage in spiritual grandstanding? Come on! Let's go to Hawaii. John, Mountain View, Hawaii. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Greetings and blessings, chat, and anyone within the sound of my voice. Brother, I love you for this topic, and I give you a short story on the reason why.
Come on, let's go.
The short story is, I live on an island. It's called Hawaii, but it is remnants of what life is. Lava flow.
Ooh, come on.
It comes not only to destroy, but expand. But in the pureness of its destruction is still life. If you've ever stood in a lava flow and looked across the span of it, you will still identify life in it. I have a photograph that resembles the whole spectrum of what I just said. A tree grows from a lava flow that has been there petrified for years. This is you. You will go through this beautiful struggle called life. It will slowly but surely tear off all the masks, all the things that are impure. It'll ruin it. And what will stand will be the pureness of you if you stand still.
Wow. Are you saying the fire of life is designed to purify us?
And God said, Let there be light.
Come on, Pastor John. The fire of life is supposed to purify us.
This beautiful struggle is supposed to get you to the place where you're supposed to be. If you're a faithful servant to it, then you will allow what happens in life, or you will fight against the current, and then it will take you under and deeper.
Wow. That hurts.
But you still survive it.
Excuse me. Wow. So
when this life ends, you'll realize that this is only the beginning or the end of this one and stepping into a new one. Are you ready?
No one's ready.
Get ready.
Excuse me. No one's ready, bro. And let me tell you why.
And I understand. We didn't get the blueprint. Nobody told us this story. Nobody told us what we were supposed to be really living in this life.
Wow.
But again, your best lessons come from your hardest times. And 100% of the time, you survived them.
But nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to go through those lessons. The lessons are fire. They burn. They hurt. Nobody wants that.
No one wants it.
But that's why I said,
what can you do to stop it?
Nothing.
Enjoy.
So, okay, well, as a father, how do you teach resilience then? Thank you.
And as a father, how do I teach resilience?
Yes, because that seems to be lacking.
The unfortunate thing is just like anything else in life. Again, we want to protect our children, but are we supposed to protect our children from the things they choose?
Ooh.
Or are we supposed to be the hedge of protection that they're supposed to go through whatever situation they go through and learn the resilience themselves and the capacity that it takes for them to go through it and survive it and be better from it? Because it's not the problem or the choice or the situation. You're just supposed to acknowledge you're still good.
I'm okay. I'm enough. I matter.
But you'll only understand that when you go through something.
No, but for many people, it's the reverse, John. When they go through something, they have these feelings that they're not enough because it triggers what happened in the past. Whatever is unreconciled gets triggered.
Because you identify with those things of the past and not the things of where you stand. Who are you? Are you still here? Do you have a left or a right to deal with? You can continue to be punched and stay there and suffer the punches, or you can become resilient, start bobbing. You can continue to fight with somebody, or you can stop fighting.
Come on, I hear it.
Your growth is your growth, and you will get this mastery when you get this mastery. Your place is your place, and God put you there for that good reason.
But what about free will? What if I choose to opt out, drop out? A lot of people drop out of the University of You, which I call relationship. They drop out because it's too hard, it's too difficult, because ultimately they're only focused on what they want to receive. They're not really focused on being what they're asking for. So what if you drop out? Do you have to come back here?
To the lava flow, sir.
Back to the lava flow.
To the beautiful struggle that life is going to be. Slowly and surely, it still gets to you.
Wow. You got to come back?
You'll return to this.
So this is what the Hindus meant when they talked about karma.
First time, you'll return back to this.
No. You're 100% right. This is what the Hindus meant when they talked about samsara. Right? Samsara, the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So you opt out. They said, that's all right. You just opted into your next life. This lesson will just transfer over.
Welcome to your purgatory.
Wow. So you can live in a multi-life limbo if you just keep exercising your free will to not accept these lessons?
or finally shrug your shoulders and say, I surrender.
Let me just do the work. Okay, right.
Let me get into this.
Wow. Truemonger called it the relationship transfer portal. Let me. Ain't no spiritual NIL deals. Wow. What? Oh, that's big right there. Hey, man, guess what you just did, Pastor John?
Mountain View's in the house. God bless you all. Love
Yo,
you all.
Mountain View is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580, man. Saving face functions not merely as a social nicety, but as a critical defense mechanism, particularly for individuals whose self-worth hinges on the fragile scaffolding of a carefully constructed and manicured persona. In narcissistic structures, the mask we wear serve as both armor and refuge, a protective facade that guards against the shattering force of perceived inadequacy and external criticism. When that mask is threatened with exposure, the resulting collapse can feel akin to a complete dissolution of identity, a narcissistic collapse, where the idealized self crumbles under the weight of its own contradictions. At its core, saving face is an adaptive strategy designed to ward off the unbearable dissonance between the idealized self and the raw, unfiltered truth. Many of us cannot stand the truth, the raw, unfiltered truth of who we actually are. Right? When you're saving face, you're in self-protective mode. You're literally saving your mask from crumbling. Right? This defense mechanism, right? Or well, back to the narcissism, where the self is elevated to a near sacred status, right? Any crack in the facade is intolerable. This defense mechanism has its root in early developmental experiences. As children, we learn that unconditional acceptance is scarce, and the internalization of a perfect image becomes essential to secure external validation. If this is you, I know you're participating in saving face. We've got work to do. When we come forward, the voice of reason will continue cooking up this fire.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
They can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, and I am a revolutionary.
On Saturday, February 22nd, you are invited to A Night with the Panthers, a special fundraiser dedicated to supporting Black Panther veterans who now require assistance with essential needs such as medicine, food, and housing. These Black Panther veterans championed human rights, fed the hungry, educated the community, and stood as powerful symbols of resistance and resilience. Despite their incredible sacrifices, loving and serving the people did not come with retirement plans or financial security. So, now it's our time to honor their legacy and ensure that they are cared for with the dignity they deserve. You can help by attending and supporting A Night with the Panthers, Saturday, February 22nd, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Project 43 Team Post Center, 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard, Los Angeles. For more information, contact Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. That's Black Panther Party Breakfast at gmail.com or call 707-554-2784. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
The VOR is on Complete Fire tonight. You should already know what it is, man. My playlist is my co-host. And I love playing music from all genres, all spaces and places. But these songs actually fit into the topic. Okay? Our relationships have a couple of manifestations. When I say manifestations, I'm talking about a road. Envision a road, a fork in the road. We can either go to heaven together, be each other's safe space, or we can go to hell together, be each other's learning space. Have you ever heard people say their most difficult relationships were their most educative? That's where they learned the most, right? Sometimes the good, healthy relationships, you don't learn as much. Sometimes. That isn't to say you don't learn anything, but those hard lessons, right? Those difficult lessons, sear something into your spirit that, you know, you never really forget those lessons and the people that taught you those lessons, right? In order to have a healthy relationship, and I've said this before, one must become self-conscious, self-aware, right? Being self-aware is very difficult in this society because this society predicates everything on accumulation, on success, on resources, on who you are, what you have, where you came from, what you're about. And it doesn't even matter if you have a wealth of narcissistic traits. Doesn't matter. You'll still be accepted. You'll still be tolerated. But the purpose of relationships, spiritual, reflective, there's mirroring going on so you can see and then take accountability for what it is you have to work on. Now, we've developed all types of clever defense mechanisms, such as saving face, which should be renamed to saving the mask. Again, this defense mechanism has its root in early developmental experiences. As children, we learn that unconditional acceptance is scarce, and the internalization of a perfect image of ourselves becomes essential to secure external validation. The mask, then, is not a deliberate lie, but an unconscious construction, a necessary illusion to bridge the gap between how we wish to be seen and the vulnerabilities we fear will render us unlovable. Now, this manifests in our avoidant types. Many avoidants feel like they're not enough, right? Because the emotional spectrum was shut down in the household that they were raised in. So the dismissive avoidance has a sense of, I'm defective in some way, right? The anxious preoccupied has always had to perform, has always had to tap dance and soft shoe to try to get the attention of a primary caregiver that was not always attuned. So they take that performance style, right, into their adult relationships. And then our beautiful, fearful avoidants have both of those issues going on, both of those wounds. And the pendulum is constantly swinging back and forth. But relationship in and of itself, regardless of what insecure attachment style you have or what personality issue you may have, whatever, right? Everything is on a spiritual spectrum. And I believe that if you endeavor courageously, right, to go inward, you could heal a lot of things. When we come forward, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, will keep cooking.
Woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. I called you up, but you weren't there, and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, can't be too late. The boss is so demanding. Open the door up, and to my surprise, there you were standing. Who needs to go to work to hustle?
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. New York Governor Kathy Hochul may impose restrictions on Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams, but will not remove him. Reports say she plans oversight measures and legal funding against the federal government if Adams doesn't act. Nearly 95 million people are facing cold weather alerts from the plains to the southeast. Virginia and North Carolina saw over a foot of snow, while Texas deals with unusual cold. The Los Angeles Fire Department is disputing Black Mayor Karen Bassett's claim that Fire Chief Kristen Crowley did not warn her about high winds before the January 7th fires. LAFD says it followed standard procedures, issued advisories, and warned officials. And Black Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown is joining a 37-state coalition urging the FDA to crack down on counterfeit weight loss and diabetes drugs. They warn unregulated meds endanger lives and call for stricter enforcement against illegal compounding pharmacies. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
What you want to do, huh?
KBLA Talk 1580 is thrilled to share that we have been named as a semi-finalist for the coveted American Climate Leadership Awards, honoring our climate work last year. We're also delighted to announce year 2 of our Climate Justice Crusade. This year's $2 million 12-month campaign will link and combat the relationship between climate change and poor health outcomes for African Americans and the poor. Climate inequities have taken a toll with multiple health triggers in the Black community, such as extreme heat and poor air quality, made worse by the recent wildfires. Our work to ensure climate justice and climate equity continues. In the coming weeks and months, you'll be hearing a lot more about our 2025 climate campaign. To learn more about our plans for this year and the companies and organizations supporting us, log on to our website at kbla1580.com. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study.
Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs, I've made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life in stages with 10,000 people watching. But we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be. I treated you unkindly, but darling, can't you see? There's no one more important to me. Can't you see through me? 'Cause we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. You taught me precious secrets of a true love, holding nothing. You came out in front when I was hiding.
Come on, the song is on point.
And if my words don't come together, listen to the melody, 'cause my love is in there hiding.
Pema starts off in the very first paragraph of the first page of the book with what I believe is the core concept that she continues to give you practices and tools and tips and ideas throughout the whole book. She talks about how, and I'll just quote her here, we already have everything we need. There is no need for self-improvement. Which is kind of interesting, right? Because you're listening to this podcast. I do this work because I believe in self-improvement. So why is she saying that? She goes on to say, all these trips that we lay on ourselves, the heavy-duty fearing that we're bad and hoping that we're good, the identities that we so dearly cling to, the rage, the jealousy, the addictions of all kinds, never touch our basic wealth. So here's the key point that I want you to hear. She goes on to say, they are like clouds that temporarily block the sun. But all the time, our warmth and brilliance are right here. This is who we are. We are one blink of an eye away from being fully awake. I mean, think about that, right? If you're brought up Western, Christian, Jewish, like even if you're not brought up with any religion at all and you're in this culture, this makes no sense to us, right? Because everything we need is out there, right? Most of us learned that there was a God, it was out there. We pray to it. We are, less than. We need to have forgiveness and repent for our sins. And again, this isn't about the religion to me at all. I've never, ever wanted to get into that topic. But it's such a profound idea if you start to think, what if you have everything you need right now? What does that even mean? What is she talking about?
She's saying you are everything you need. Self-discovery leads to self-acceptance. Self-acceptance leads to self-realization. Dr. David R. Hawkins frames it quite differently. When he's talking about the ego, he'll talk about you, the persona, the personality. He'll say that is the little self. Self with a small s. He says when you're talking about your true self, it is self with a capital S. In much the same way as Western theologians will say the English version of Psalms 82:6, where it says, I have said ye are gods, initially or almost instantaneously our pastors, especially black pastors, say that's God with a little g. Right? Your ego is the little g version of you. When you become self-actualized, that's when you become the capital G, because you're in alignment with what Christ was saying. For those who believe on me, I give you the power to do even greater things than I. I of myself can do nothing. It is the Father who works through me. Do you understand? The West Africans understood this concept as well. They called it the Ori. What is the Ori? It means head. And they believe that it is this etheric connection that connects you to Oludumare, the highest manifestation of God. All of these belief systems tie together. You've been down here identifying yourself with the little g, which is born out of the modeling that you got in childhood, whether it was toxic or relatively benign. And you think that's who you are. Let me get my caller in here. Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia. What are your thoughts on the topic tonight?
I'm so glad to be on the line with you, learning this evening.
Hey,
much love to you,
nephew. Come on,
Yes,
nephew.
sir.
Talk to me, man.
So I know earlier what came to mind, kind of in the funny way, but real to the point, kind of in tune with the Bible. In that sense, was just like, I was thinking about that original story of, Adam and Eve and all of that. Mm-hmm. It's the fall of man and all of that. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at it real quick just in relation to tonight's topic. I was like, oh, so yeah, Adam was y'all like trying to save face, and God, because he was like, oh, it was the girl you gave me.
The woman you gave me. He's saving face.
Right.
He was really blaming God in that quote. Listen, had you not given her to me, I wouldn't have never touched that. You did that, God.
Look, I judge a tree by the look. You said
right.
All of that is like, you know what I mean? I think that's relevant to the essence of what saving face is, because one, I believe that looking at it in that lens or what have you, like I believe it helps us see who we really need to be concerned with, even to that point of where you're just speaking of the Christ consciousness, like God within, that through line that you have with your creator, like the ultimate true authority, if you will, the head of your being, your consciousness, your mindset, your decisions, all of that. And I think what we end up doing, apparently like through trauma and this and the third, we end up trying to, like you were saying, to the point of a mask, like, we try to save a face that ain't even ours for real. And that's the same thing. So, you know what I mean? I don't mean for it to be like repetitive, you feel me? Because the bell ring, it's been rung on this side. And it's just like, I get tired of kicking that horse, because now it's like, all right, clearly we dealing with some type of false accusation. Because if we ain't got the smoke for God, don't let it dissipate after that. Like, shout out to the bro, Pastor John and all of that. Like, it could be smokeless fire, but like, man, if you got smoke, don't be bold enough to be like, oh, well, God, you gave me this girl, but then, like, you ain't going to go stomp on that head of the serpent until it bruise your heel, like the words say. Because that's part of your quote-unquote punishment, too, right? Like, when we look at it, like, it's, bro, I'm trying to just follow through for real and not get caught up in anything else.
But you know what I'm hearing right now from my nephew out of Atlanta?
What's that, Lon?
You are embracing the process of being a work in progress. And it seems like you are now getting comfortable with first being flawed, right? Because oftentimes we fight against fight against seeing ourselves as flawed. Because if we see ourselves as flawed, we automatically equate the flaw to being not enough.
Word.
Do you see what I'm saying? And it seems like as I listen to you, like you're getting to a space where you're like, I'm okay with being flawed, with being in the process of accepting and healing and knowing that this is not an overnight, one exercise kind of, endeavor. This is something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And I can hear that in the way that you're framing your thought around this. What are your thoughts on what I'm saying here?
I accept what you say always, and in listening, it brings me right back to that same point of I don't want to be repetitive, because to that effect, that part has been solidified, and what I'm trying to conquer currently still, we'll say, like, if this is my phase, is like, you have self-respect, you care about yourself, you serve a purpose, yet in embodying and experiencing the surrender part, I'm more into, like, it really ain't even about me. Like, I don't give a crap about the quote-unquote me part of it, but that's part of what healing has brought me. So it's also a war in that sense, or a consistent ongoing battle or navigation, if you will, in the healing process, because I'm a stickler of words, I guess you'll say, too. I feel honored that you would have that observation, and I appreciate that, because without Christ, that's all it is to it. Right. Like in terms of word, without a head or self-consciousness, love is really nothing else to it from what I've embraced or what have you. So that's what I feel to what you're saying. It's just like, it's kind of old new, but it's like, what is it about me anyway? You know what I mean? That's kind of like my angle question, and might even go to the saving face. I ain't got no face to save if it ain't looking like love, or like someone that's flawed, or like someone that's quote unquote whatever the case is. And I'm more of like, whoever has the false accusations, I want to take you in my daddy crib, I'm take your head off.
Nephew, guess what you just did?
Love, huh?
Hey, you brought Atlanta in the building. Nephew was cooking when we come forward. We're going to Houston, Texas. Let's see what they got to say.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Text preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-511-2112. That's 800-511-2112. 800-511-2112.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Turn off the lights and light a candle. Tonight I'm in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the records have been flowing tonight.
Let's take a shower.
Shower together. Come on, we've been in here lathering with logic. I'll wash your body, wash your whole spirit on the voice of reason. This is a spirit shower. What in the world? We in here cooking. You understand me? I love it, man. I love having these types of conversations, man. Hey, Teddy, man. My playlist is my co-host. The whole playlist has been on fire tonight. Woo! Let me get my final caller in here tonight. Attila from Houston, Texas. Attila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Tio. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to address a comment that was made in the chat. I thought you might find it interesting. So Jack Brazen wrote, once you're fully arrived or self-realized, I don't see the need for a counterpart. At that point, they're just someone to point out your flaws. I thought this was real interesting.
Wait,
because
what did he say? Say it one more time.
He was basically saying that, like, once you're self-actualized, you don't need a partner because that person is just there to point out your flaws, which is interesting because I kind of, when I read it, I thought, well, if I'm self-actualized, I don't care. I'm not really even thinking about that. Like, because I'm aware. I'm self-aware, right? So I know what my flaws are. You wouldn't be telling me something I don't already know. Mm-hmm. So why would that bother me? But that's the saving faith.
And then the question also arises, if you're self-actualized, do you have any flaws?
That is a question.
I mean, I don't, I think that's a question. I think that's a fair question, right?
I said yes, because, I mean, to be aware of something or objective about something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that I see it and I don't judge it. But it doesn't mean it's not there.
Or flaws live where unhealed, deep-seated issues and wounds live. What is perceived or defined as a flaw. Once you've transcended those flaws, do you see? So what it sounds like Jack did was he applied the old mind, the mind that was rooted in ego, the mind that was rooted in identity, in manipulation and gaslighting. He applied the old mind to a new consciousness level, and you don't carry that with you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that wouldn't even be, but then here's the other part. Because I'm like, that wouldn't even be an issue if I'm self-actualized. I'm not even, my mind is not there on floss. But think about that last piece and what he said, where he says your partner, right, would basically be there to judge you, to point them out. And to me, when you're self-actualized, the partner that you attract would actually be the undergirding of your flaw. Like, they are strong where you're weak and vice versa. Right? Like,
no.
you would help each other, right?
No. Because, again, we're applying regular people with regular consciousness to what they call this super enlightened or if you've reached samadhi. Do you get what I'm saying? You've reached samadhi, you've reached moksha, you've reached these high levels of consciousness.
You're like floating in the clouds.
So, do you see what I'm saying? If we go back to Dr. David R. Hawking's consciousness grid, right? If we go back to the consciousness grid, the top of the consciousness grid, oh my God, like, let's just go to the consciousness grid. Let's just see what's at the top of the consciousness grid, right? And when you see that, you'll understand, like, you're applying the old mind, right? The mind that is down there where grief, apathy, guilt, shame, fear, desire, anger, pride, all that stuff is down there. The lower levels of consciousness. When we get to the top level of consciousness, the very top level of consciousness, it says process, pure consciousness, God view, self with the capital S, view of life is, predominant emotional state, ineffable, without words is what ineffable means. I can't put it into words. Energetic log, 700 to 1,000. Now, he applied his consciousness grid to Krishnamurti's work and Krishnamurti himself. He said Krishnamurti was at 600, which is peace, bliss, perfect, God view, all being, process, illumination. Do you see the adjectives used to describe these higher upper levels? He said the only people that have ever existed on planet Earth, this is Dr. David R. Hawking's work, author of Power versus Force. He said Buddha, Krishna, and Jesus are the only ones that were at 1,000. Ineffable is self, pure consciousness, one with God. Do you see? So if you're rising to that level, you're not going to be like, yeah, I attracted somebody that's going to judge me. Knock it off.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to be thinking about that at all. But then also, let me ask you this. So considering I and God are one, then me and my partner are one. There is no me and my partner. There's just one.
Right. God interacting with himself at a higher level.
Listen now.
But
well, that's all I wanted to say.
That's another topic. That's a whole nother topic. Listen. Hey, Attila, guess what you just did?
All right, Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the building because of Attila. Listen, today is my Friday. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. I start the conversations. You ain't got to agree, but you got to continue them. When I see you next week, I'm going to have 4 new slappers, and we're going to cook from Monday to Thursday once again. Let's get it.
Every day, my imagination anticipates ways I can show you how much I love you. Candy flowers, priceless pearls, romantic trips around the world. Baby, just think.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. 86-year-old Missouri man Andrew Lester, who pleaded guilty to shooting black teenager Ralph Yarl in